All last year, we took the show on the road in conjunction with the Southern Women's Show. The Balance Your Life Road Tour visited so many places like Savannah and Richmond and Nashville and Raleigh and Detroit and many other places in between. And at each stop, there was just so many extra stories to share with you, stories you didn't probably get to see on our show. And so today I want to show you one of my favorites from our Jacksonville stop. Take a look. They are not clapping for me, and you'll find out why coming up here in just a moment. We are so pleased to welcome to the show Mrs. United States, Shannon Ford. Shannon, good morning. Good to see you this morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
I'm glad you're here because make the distinction for me. Mrs. United States, how is that different from Miss United States? And you were Miss United States as well, right?
I was actually Miss Florida USA, so I didn't capture the national title, but it's very similar except for the fact that we are married women. And married women have very different lives than a single woman. And it's a lot regarding your show about balancing our life and balancing, families and careers and children. So that's really the main difference. But as far as the competition is very much the same. Swimsuit, evening gown, and interview. Interview is my favorite. Swimsuit's not. And
let's stop right there with the swimsuit. I want to go back to the swimsuit portion of it. How is it standing in front of God knows how many people in a bathing suit? Are you sucking it in? Are you standing straighter? What does that feel? That's kind of like my worst nightmare.
It's one of those things where you have to just be prepared.
Okay.
And it's,
does that mean a lot of working out, a lot of exercise?
It's a lot of working out, a lot of knowing which angles are the best.
Right.
And it's just making sure that, one of the things that I have learned is, if I'm prepared and working out and I know my body's at my best, I may not be the skinniest person on stage, but I know my body's at my best, I'm going to have the confidence. And really, it's the confidence that wins the swimsuit competition.
It's interesting. I've been seeing a lot on the news about these children's beauty pageants and toddlers and tiaras and all of that. What's your take on children's beauty pageants as opposed to beauty pageants for teenagers and women who are of age to make those decisions on their own?
I never personally competed in a pageant when I was a child. I started as 18 as a way to pay for college, and I personally would not put my my daughter in a beauty pageant. I think really we need to focus on raising our daughters to be complete people and learning about health and fitness and getting them into different activities. And then if that's something they want to do as an adult, I think that's something that, or as an older child, that's fine.
Let me ask you this. Do you think that in beauty pageants in general, there's maybe too much of an emphasis on beauty, or are pageants kind of steering away from that and focusing more on just how smart many of these women are?
I think, with the Mrs. United States pageant and its sister pageants, interview is really where it's won or lost.
The interview is the important part of it.
The interview is where it's won or lost, because the judges told me afterwards, they said, you had us an interview. And because I knew what I wanted to do with the title. I knew it wasn't about winning the pageant.
Right.
I knew it was about being Mrs. United States, and that's really where it's won. So when you get to a national level like that, really, you may be the most beautiful person or physically, but if you can't hold a conversation, you're not going to get in that top 10.
Well, wonderful. We're so glad that you're here to talk about that, and also to talk about something that I know has happened to you personally, and that is celiac disease.
Yes.
Talk to us about celiac disease. When did you get diagnosed? How has it affected your life? And what are you doing now to raise awareness now that you do have this platform?
I was diagnosed a little over 2 years ago. I probably was struck with it my entire life, but as there's usually a trigger point and a very stressful event, which happened around the beginning of 2009. And my health started to deteriorate. I was struggling with fatigue, and I went to probably about 5 different types of doctors going and getting diagnosed. I was diagnosed with IBS, anemia, hypothyroidism, and it was all a result of the celiac with gluten. So once I was properly diagnosed, which actually I was diagnosed by my husband, who saw an interview on TV about celiac disease and said, you really should get tested for this. So he actually was the one that diagnosed me. And once I got diagnosed and eliminated the gluten from my diet, then my health, all my other problems literally just went away. And now, as far as raising awareness, it's about just letting people know, get tested. Whether it's celiac disease or gluten intolerance, 1 in 133 people are affected with celiac disease, yet 97% are undiagnosed.
Wow. And again, what exactly is celiac disease? That you can't have anything with gluten in it?
Right. It's an autoimmune disease. So if I eat gluten, my body will produce antibodies and fight it. So it damages basically my internal organs is what it comes down to. But there's also gluten intolerance, which is basically like a lactose intolerance. And a lot more people are affected with that. And one of the things my first advocacy, I guess you could say, as Mrs. United States, was to advocate for gluten-free labeling with the FDA, which they are now under revision with the FDA, because right now anything that says gluten-free doesn't necessarily mean gluten-free, because there's no restrictions and no recommendations and requirements by the FDA. And now the FDA is going to be coming out with some restrictions as far as what can be labeled gluten-free.
Oh, that's wonderful. You know, I'm sitting here looking at you, and you're such a beautiful, beautiful girl. What does beauty mean to you?
I think, first off, beauty means being a good person. And if you are a good person inside, then that's going to show throughout. You know, I've met some physically beautiful people, but that just aren't necessarily beautiful on the inside. And
Amen to that. And it does show. You're absolutely right.
Thank you very much.
The other thing I want to ask you before I let you go is, can you give us some of your kind of top 3 beauty do's? I mean, you've been in the business a long time, and so you've worked with a lot of makeup artists, a lot of skincare and hair people. What are some kind of must-dos? What can you share with our audience?
Well, I think, you know, being a woman in her mid-30s, I think first of all, you always want to make sure is you wash your face at night.
No makeup on at night?
No, you gotta.
Oh, darn.
I mean,
you got me at that one.
You gotta wash your face at night. I think that's one of the things, whereas in my 20s, you know, you get lazy and you come home and you're tired, you know, and we all get into that, but, you know, we wash our face at night and then moisturize. Being, you know, always moisturize, and like I said, I'm in my mid-30s, you want to moisturize as much as possible. And then being a Florida girl, you gotta wear your sunscreen. You gotta protect your face. So born and raised in Florida, you gotta put on the sunscreen.
How important is exercise?
Oh, well, exercise anchors my day, and exercise is just a part of my daily routine. Wake up every morning 5:45 with Sundays off, and I'm in the gym at 6:30. So, but it's a habit, and it's part of my daily life.
Well, you are my shero, getting up at 5:45 to go work out. Shannon Ford, Mrs. United States. Thanks so much for stopping by and talking to us this morning.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Yay, Shannon! And for more information on Shannon and all things Mrs. United States, simply visit the website MrsUnitedStates2011.com. And this year, the Balance Your Life Road Tour is coming your way once again. We're going to be hitting key stops all across America starting in February, so be on the lookout for that.